views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
Hola, everyone, and welcome to Open, the one and only show bringing the best of the Bronx, New York, and the world straight to you. I'm Rhina Valentin, your hosty Café con Leche every Friday, and today we celebrate my birthday on this special edition of Open. Here's what's coming up in today's show. Leading things off, we'll find out about the newly released Hold On, an inspirational film telling a story of hope and faith when we sit with producer Cemi Guzman. After that, we'll speak with legendary photographer Joe Conza Jr. about his photography and the overall impact he's made internationally while always representing the BX. And we'll learn about Unexplained and Unexplored, a new TV show co-hosted by Justin Fornal that explores history abroad while seeking hidden treasures. Plus, we'll be joined by Cake Burger's founder, Evette Zayas, who will make some tasty mini-sized burger cakes you don't want to miss. Later on in the show, Bobby C brings us an up-to-date with the latest headlines in the world of sports. And lastly, singer and songwriter Edwin Vasquez will perform a surprise tribute to women in honor of my birthday. So sit back y prepárate. All this and more is headed your way, because now we are officially open. Welcome back to Open, everyone. I'm Rhina Valentin, your hosty Café con Leche for the next hour. Always inviting you to get social with us online. That is, tweet us and follow us on Instagram at BronxNet TV or like us on Facebook at Open BronxNet Television. And of course, don't forget, while you're there, follow moi on Twitter, FB, Instagram, Insta Stories, LinkedIn, and Snapchat at Rhina Valentin. So, Hold On. That's a newly released music-driven drama film that tells the story of an aspiring singer fighting to keep her dreams alive while trying to save her brother from a life of addiction. Let's take a sneak peek of Hold On.
I wish that I could write a song. I wish that I had the words. I wish that
Okay, next. I mean, great voice, but, I mean, who wants to listen to a song about writing a song?
When I started here, I told you I came here to sing.
I'm just gonna need you to focus a little bit.
I have a huge audition coming up, just not getting any younger, and I feel like this might be my last shot.
Number 945. It's about more than just the voice.
I mean, you got some mad pipes, girl. You have no idea what you're doing, which is why you need me. But you said you're a songwriter too, right?
Yeah?
Okay, so we're gonna find your first single right now. Been recording some stuff with this girl from this church, and she's actually really good.
But you got a lot going on inside of you that you're bottling up.
Destruction of private property, threatening your boss. I mean, come on, man.
You remind me a lot of Taj. I mean, the real Taj, the kid I grew up with. It's your sister, it's Cemi. Why are you doing this to our family? I just pray that one day I could have him back, even for a moment.
I want you to know you're gonna be okay, believe.
And joining us to tell us more about the film Hold On, please welcome producer Cemi Guzman.
Thank you so much for having me.
Welcome, Cemi.
I'm so excited.
We're excited for you.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, look at you, a producer extraordinaire.
A little bit.
That's awesome. And you got to work with your dad in the process?
Which is fantastic. It's great because, to be honest, he wasn't my first choice. He wasn't my first choice. I left the script on the table. He took a look at it. He goes, you know, I'm in this movie. And I go, Okay, sure. You weren't my first choice, so it's great when I get to hire my dad. It's a lot of
That's
fun.
awesome. You get to hire your dad.
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
gosh, he wasn't your first choice. Why is it challenging to work with
No,
family?
no, he's great. He's great. I love him. I was just kidding. I was
Yeah,
kidding.
no, of course you
Yeah,
are.
yeah, yeah.
I know. You can tell that you guys have a wonderful, respectful, and loving relationship. But how was that, reversing the roles?
I think it was fantastic. It wasn't so hard, to be honest. It was an acceptance, and he always has been ready to pass the torch, and I think this was one of those experiences. And he still stayed on set when he wasn't shooting, and he'd come and give me pointers, and then when he was shooting, I would come and give him pointers. So I think we've always had that dance.
That's lovely. You know what I've always found fascinating about you, Cemi?
Hmm.
That while you've been in the presence of all these famous and big-time people, being Luis Guzman's son, I always wondered why you didn't choose the acting role as opposed to the producer role.
I like being behind the camera.
I know, pero es que you would think, porque eres tan chulo and
No,
everything.
no. Secretly inside, I'm freaking out right now.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Well,
I'm happy
secretly,
to
I
be-
think you have control.
Oh, thank you so much.
That's what's up. All right, and also I do want to share a little bit about you being a visual artist. I know we're here to talk about the movie, but I think it's important for everyone to understand that, like, when you're in this field, you kind of dabble in different areas, and I know as a visual artist, the pieces that you make are like oversized. I mean, they take you months to make.
Absolutely, yeah. A lot of the pieces are about like 9 feet, 8 feet large, and
Wow.
they could take 5 to 6 months. And sometimes you're just in that headspace where you need to get it out, and it could take 6 days.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Yeah, so is that your form of therapy?
Yeah, it's a form of therapy. It's another way of expressing myself, you know. I have a couple ideas for jewelry. I have a couple ideas for clothes. So it's just another way of expressing myself.
And so in exercising that form of expressing yourself, how does that serve in deciding what films you're going to produce?
Interesting. I keep them separate. I keep them separate in regards to the art. But if I'm choosing a script to look at and picking a project, it starts with the script. It starts with the people. Because if you're going to spend the next 6 months to 3 years with somebody, you want to make sure you're close with them. And so that process is a long and grueling one to pick a script and to pick a story. But once you get it, it doesn't feel like work. And you could go 3 years working with a crew that you love.
So in this particular film, I found it interesting also that you cast Flavor Flav
Yeah, absolutely.
as what was he, a parole officer?
A parole officer,
And I'm
yeah.
like, nobody would think, but it makes sense though, right? Because there's this reality and just like rawness and authenticity
Absolutely.
in having to deal with that aspect of life.
I mean, anytime he was on set, you can feel what he says. You can feel that he had been through those experiences and he's trying to help a young, lost soul. And working with Flav was fantastic. It was actually my buddy Tarek Tomei, who's the writer, director, producer of the film. He's always been close with Flav. And so it just made sense. And Louis never played a pastor before. So I think moving forward with all movies, we want to push the boundaries. We want to do something new and do the unexpected.
I like that. I like the non-typecasting aspect of it. And the lead, right? I love that she's a full-figured woman.
She's fantastic. She's amazing. She has a beautiful voice. She's beautiful inside and out, and that's Michaela de Etete, and she actually wrote all the music. She was the one that orchestrated all the music, and she's incredible.
Well, I understand that this story is kind of relatable to her in real life.
Absolutely. It's loosely based on her story. We made some changes, but it's very much her story.
So when people go into the theaters, what should they expect to experience?
They should expect to feel as if they're at a concert. We made sure we had 2 composers with us on set at all times to make sure, and the small details to make sure that you feel like you're there and you're listening to her. Nothing was ever lip sync. Everything was done live.
Oh, wow. So you shot it
We shot
with
it.
her singing live.
Absolutely.
That is so, that right there is an experience, right?
Absolutely.
Because
So
how many
special.
how many takes did she have to do?
Because it was her story, she gave it her all. And you could tell, like, you know, after a certain point, it's emotionally draining because it is your story. And she was professional, a champion to keep doing that over and over for us till we got the right shot. So she's incredible.
That's awesome.
She
And
truly
I know
is.
this film was just recently released, so there's plenty of time for people to go see it.
Absolutely.
And where is it screening and how can people find out more about it?
Well, you could go check it out on holdon.com. And follow us on Instagram. We have theaters all over the country. And we'll do a second release of theaters after the second week.
That's wonderful. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
On everything.
Thank you.
And
I'm
thank you for
excited.
being here on my birthday special.
I love it. Happy birthday, my love.
Yay!
I love it. I love it.
Should we
Thank
tell
you.
everybody you're my daughter's godbrother?
Yes, we should. Absolutely.
There you go.
That's
Estamos en
it.
familia.
Family.
Mwah.
I love you.
I love you too. All right, you guys, once again, Hold On is currently in theaters. To find the nearest theater near you, you can visit holdonthemovie.com. All right, we have to take a quick break, but when we return, we'll sit down with a legendary Bronx photographer who's captured decades of our urban culture one shot at a time. Don't go anywhere.
Praise the Lord. I'm Evangelist Barbara Mayo. I have a program called A Great God. I come on every Saturday at 3:30, channel 70 and 36 on Fios. You need to catch me because it's a program to encourage, to lift up, and if you don't know anybody that haven't heard about the program, tell them about it. They'll be encouraged, for God is good. God bless you.
Hey, welcome back to Open, everyone. So our next guest is a legendary photographer dubbed by the New York Times as the man who took hip-hop's baby pictures, okay, hello. His flair for photography developed at the age of 9, and, well, the rest we can say is history, literally and visually. All right, so growing up at the heels of his grandmother, dynamic leader and activist Dr. Evelina Antonetti, and his father, Joe Conzo Sr., longtime confidant and historian to Tito Puente, well, he's been able to capture the community throughout decades with an authentic perspective. Joining us to tell us more, we welcome legendary photographer Joe Conzo Jr.
Thank you, Rhina. Thank you, and happy birthday.
Thank you, honey.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
I'm so happy you are
Yes.
here.
Yes.
In all aspects of saying so.
Thank you.
Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
And we'll get to that in a moment. But just before anything, I just want to say that you are an absolute inspiration of what it means to live in purpose. Because, you know, at 9 years old, right, picking up a camera, capturing, I guess, the horrific experiences that were occurring within the Bronx, right, during a certain time period. I mean, there's a lot of resilience in your story, aside from the artistry. So let's just give everybody a taste of all these decades and what, I guess, drew you to capture the way you do.
Well, as a kid, you know, I was that chubby little kid, and I'm pretty sure you've heard it 1,000 times with the Angela Davis afro and this, that, and the other. And I wasn't that athletic or good with words. But, you know, my stepdad at the time, who was an amateur family photographer, you know, put a camera in my hands, and I just gravitated to taking pictures of my friends in the block, the neighborhood surroundings, and it just blossomed into a passion and love affair where, you know, fast forward 40 years later, almost 40 years later, this kid from the South Bronx has been to Bulgaria, Asia, Tokyo, London. I just came back from Germany, and all because I took pictures.
So
It's
so dope.
freaking amazing.
It is amazing.
It's freaking amazing. You know what I mean? And just, I've been blessed and I've been humbled.
And you know, I just mentioned Flavor Flav, but you've got him on record.
So yeah,
when
I
he
mean,
was wearing the big
Flavor
clock,
Flav,
right?
Yeah, Flav and I go way back, and God bless him. You know what I mean? For his resiliency, also. You know what I mean? And for his contribution to the genre of hip hop. But I mean, I was just fortunate enough to document a time of the Bronx.
Right.
You know, that we were going through a big struggle. And, you know, as a kid, I didn't know any better. So, you know, if you didn't grow up in that private house with a white picket fence, you don't miss it. So the abandoned buildings were our playgrounds, and we had fun.
Right.
We had fun.
You made the most out of it.
We made the most out of
And
it.
you captured it. And you captured it with artistry. And not only that, you are the historic record of it. Right? I don't know how many people know how your images are actually stored in Cornell.
Yes, I was fortunate enough that I was approached, you know, years ago, I had put down the camera, dealing with some personal issues and stuff like that, and, you know, got a call years later about licensing one of my images, and I called my mother, who, you know, rest in peace. She died in Hurricane Maria in Puerto Rico. I said, Ma, you still have those boxes of negatives that I had? She goes, yes, I still have them. And, I just started going through my images, and, it's hip hop, hanging on my dad's coattail, taking pictures of Tito Puente, Hector Lavoe, Celia Cruz, who we used to call Titi. And it's just, I had such an abundance of images from like 77 to like 85. It was just phenomenal. And Cornell reached out to me and, said, Joe, can we do this? And I said, yes, as long as X, Y, and Z is taken care of, where it's digitized and it's available to the world. And you can go to Cornell Hip Hop Collection right now and see over 10,000 of my images and do research. And real quickly, my images sit on the same shelf as the Gettysburg Address.
Yes,
How freaking cool is that? You know what I mean? But they're preserved. They're preserved. Because God forbid there's a fire in my house, flood. We hear all these horror stories, master tapes, John Coltrane's music lost, this, that, and the other. So it's preserved. It'll live on. And I retain ownership of it.
And you retain ownership of it. This is amazing. It's wonderful.
Yes.
And thank you so much for sharing that, because I think it's important that we also understand that we have to preserve our stories.
We have to tell our story,
Right.
our narrative,
Right.
our way, not let
Right.
anybody else tell it.
Right, correct. And so, again, as he mentioned, all these stories are accessible at Cornell. How awesome is that? So let's talk about this book.
So this book, I was approached by Kevin Fitzpatrick, a phenomenal writer and author, and he said, Joe, we're doing a book on 111 places in the Bronx that you must not miss. It's a series, and it's done by a German company.
Oh,
Out of
wow.
all, I mean, German.
Oh, yeah, que tú eres internacional. Pues
So,
claro.
and it was like, Joe, we can't do this book without you, because you're the premier Bronx photographer, la, 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 whatever. And I said, okay, let me check it out. And I learned so much about, I thought I knew everything about the Bronx. My first book called Born in the Bronx, I have it tattooed here and this and the other. I thought I knew.
I know, I have a pin that you
Yeah,
gifted
yeah.
me with Born in the Bronx. You have the T-shirts, Born in the Bronx.
So I thought I knew everything.
Right.
But Kevin's research and my input, we put together this book that just came out over the summer. And real quickly, I mean, the Lincoln Memorial, I think every kid has been to in Washington, D.C. That big old statue. That MF was built right here in the Bronx on Willis Avenue. Who knew? Who knew that that statue was built here by the Piccarelli brothers on Willis Avenue?
That's in there.
And it's in the book.
That's what's up.
Batman was created here in the Bronx. You know what I mean? So it's all these little historic things, touristic things, and the Tats Crew did the cover. I had to get the Tats Crew in there.
That's it, Bronx Familia.
Yeah.
And so people can find this book.
They can find it on Amazon, and it's 111 places where, if you're, ever in the Bronx, pick it up, go check out some of the historical, fun places to visit and enjoy.
And so we don't have much time, but I do want to acknowledge you, and I do want to mention to our viewers how you also served as an EMT for the fire
I
department.
just retired from the fire department after 27 years. I've been retired now for about 13, 14 months.
And you went to September 11th, and unfortunately you got cancer, and you beat cancer.
So far, it's been 3 months since my last chemo treatment. I was diagnosed with liver and pancreatic cancer, secondary due to 9/11. It was not something I was looking forward to in retirement, but, as, my mother and grandmother used to say, no hay mal que por bien no venga.
That's all.
And the good that came out of this was my resiliency and the love and support from you and everybody around the world. So it's been 3 months since my last chemo treatment, and so far so good. I still got my hair.
That's it.
Wearing skinny jeans.
That's what's
looking
up.
good,
That's
and
it. You rocking it, baby.
just,
Rocking it, rocking it.
Just
Yes,
came
we
back
are
from
rocking
Berlin
it.
and getting back into the
Ay,
groove of
mío,
things. and
mira,
yeah.
mira. You
Yeah.
might be
And,
viajando
my
todo.
t-shirt,
And yes, that's the
that's
infamous
what, I have cancer.
And long live. May you live a long, blessed life. Long live you. Long live your documentation.
Thank you.
And here's to our future.
Love you.
Woo, love you too, Joe. Thank
you.
you for being here on my
Yes.
birthday edition.
Yes.
All right, it's significant, All right, every day counts. You guys, once again, for more on Joe Conzo and his photography, please be sure to visit joeconzo.com and follow him on Instagram at Joe Conzo. All right, we got to take a quick break, but coming up next, we'll learn about a series exploring history abroad. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Open, everyone. Don't forget to get social with us. That's right. Tweet us at BronxNet TV, and while you're there, tweet me too at Rhina Valentin. Our next guest is an explorer and cultural detective who specializes in investigating indigenous traditions and historical mysteries around the world. Recently, he's been listed as one of the most adventurous people in the world right now by Men's Journal, and now he is part of a new television series entitled Unexplained and Unexplored. The show captures expert researchers that solve mysteries using both ancient maps and cutting-edge technology. Let's take a sneak peek of Unexplained and Unexplored.
It's just mind-blowing. Prospectors, explorers have searched for this mine for well over 100 years. Whoa.
This is a harsh habitat. It's clearly a place that hasn't been explored. If you look at this map, it's an alternative history of the United States.
We have ourselves a large dugout canoe. It's unbelievable. This map may hold a key. This might not be a legend or a myth. This might be historic fact.
Unexplained and Unexplored. All new Sunday at 10 on Science and Sci-Go.
Here now to share more about the show, please welcome co-host of Unexplained and Unexplored, Justin Fornal. Hello.
Hello, Rhina.
Welcome back.
It's great to be here. You look stunning today.
Oh,
this is
thank
a
you.
Wonderful color ensemble.
Oh, well, thank you, thank you. It's my birthday.
And absolutely, happy birthday.
Thank you, darling.
I hope we will get a chance to celebrate.
Yeah, well, of course we will.
In the studio and out of the studio, of course.
Right, out of the studio, of course. And I just want to say, and I want to reintroduce you to our viewers because, well, Baron Ambrosia, in case you guys didn't know.
Of course,
he's Baron Ambrosia. And, well, you laid him to rest quite some time ago. You killed him with a coffin and all. But Baron Ambrosia started here as Bronx Flavor as a segment inside of Open Fridays. And I just want to share that with our viewers because I think a lot of people perceive you or perceived you as being this person that was into culinary when, in fact, you've always been about exploration.
Of course, yeah. Now, Baron Ambrosia was a character I played on Bronx Flavor, and then later the Culinary Adventures of Baron Ambrosia on the Cooking Channel. And that all really started as a podcast, but then it became a segment here on your show, and that's how we became lifelong friends. And Michael Max Nobby brought me in, and we had so much fun just kind of showcasing people and food of the Bronx. But all throughout my career as Baron Ambrosia, essentially any money I would make, I would buy airplane tickets with and do my exploration. And I'd write about it. So I'd go to places like Yemen and Vietnam and kind of do these adventures and recording scientific knowledge in the field.
I know. I mean, I have the distinct pleasure of getting it on a personal level because we're friends. However, it's very fascinating what you do in the sense of where your interests lie, right? Because it's not like you're traveling to travel as a tourist. You're traveling in these rural areas. You're traveling in very dangerous areas. And as far as I'm concerned, you're not just an explorer. You're like an extremist, an extreme explorer, if that's even a term, because the things you do are like really out there.
Well, what's so exciting is our world is so vast, and I think in the West we get such a narrow perspective of how incredible the world is. And we kind of, you come in as a Westerner, it's like, oh, we're from America. Not realizing that these cultures have been there for thousands of years, and we've only been here for hundreds as a nation. But even in America, you had more people in North America and South America than there was in Europe when we go back to indigenous times.
Right.
And we kind of look, Native Americans, there was vast kingdoms here that were so bold, so brilliant. And that history has been kind of swept under the rug when we want to talk about these European explorers coming in and colonizing and changing this landscape. But history, the deep history, is not in our history books. It's up to us to go out and find it and tell those stories. And that's kind of what we do on Unexplained and Unexplored.
I know, and then you have this amazing co-host. I mean, we got two rugged hunks just out there acting like our version of Indiana Jones or the modern version of Indiana Jones.
We like to think ourselves as the thinking woman's adventurers, you know?
Oh, I like that.
And
The
that's
thinking
why
woman's
it's a
adventurers.
very smart show. And that's one thing I will say. It is a very academic show. It has a lot of adventure, but you're going to learn. You're going to learn about ancient maps. You're going to learn about ancient spice routes, but you're also going to learn about the cutting edge technology we use to visit the same sites. So they say, well, why would you go look for, the Ark of the Covenant or to see if the Maya may have migrated to Florida if someone's already did that 20 years ago? Because now, with side scan sonar, with LiDAR drones, we can see stuff beneath this building that you might have not been able to find even 2 years ago because the technology within archaeology is changing so quickly.
Right, and so just to give everyone a little a better understanding of what he's referencing, because I was there at the premiere of Unexplained and Unexplored at the Explorers Club, and it was very fascinating because the topic of that particular episode was a ghost ship. And you guys were looking for a ghost ship in the middle of the desert.
Exactly. And why is that possible? Because our planet is constantly changing. And this ship that had treasure on it sailed up the Sea of Cortez, which is now the Gulf of California, into an ancient ancient giant lake called Lake Cahuilla. It's not there anymore. It dried out. It was 300 feet deep. So there's multiple ships that are just there because they may have got stranded, they might have sunk, and they were underwater. Now, they're just in the middle of the desert. But these are such remote places. You think, oh, how remote can California be? California has some remote locations, and there's stuff out there just waiting to be found.
So where did you gain access to these maps? Because I know you're doing everything based on these ancient maps. And I mean, the work that you guys are doing is kind of like reintroducing history to people.
Right. And you think, well, now we've got Google Earth. And that's what usually if I'm going to talk to someone about an expedition, I'll buy a map online, and I'll study the map. And it's a new map. It's a relevant map. So why ancient maps? Because there's things on ancient maps that aren't there anymore.
Right.
So when you put those two things together, it's like, wait, this lake was there 400 years ago. Now it's not. Oh, so it's like within the old and the new, it's a snapshot of history.
All right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it.
And you compare the old with the new, then you bring the new tech, and it's like, whoa.
That's what's up. And so how many episodes are we in now?
There's 8 episodes. This Sunday night is one of the best episodes. We make some serious discoveries, and we're investigating the Maya, which are one of the greatest indigenous kingdoms, one of the greatest kingdoms in the history of our planet. In 900 AD, they abandoned a lot of their cities, and we try to figure out where they may have migrated to, and it leads us to Florida.
And it leads you to Florida. How interesting. Looking forward to that. And we are so grateful to you for coming back home to us and sharing
what a great
all
place
of
to
this
be
with our viewers.
And you have been, just obviously you're a dear friend to me, but also you are a national treasure. And just watching you, you really bring a life to BronxNet that I think is just absolutely incredible. And it's something that keeps me tuning in. I know keeps a lot of people tuning in because you have such a powerful spirit. And it just, not because I know you, but you're a pleasure to watch.
I appreciate
You're an absolute pleasure to watch.
I appreciate that.
And
And now you guys can watch him on Sundays.
Yes.
That's right. At 10 o'clock
10
on
o'clock.
the Science Channel. That's the Discovery Science
Yes.
Channel. And once again, the show is Unexplained and Unexplored, airing Sundays, 10 p.m. on the Science Channel. And to watch the episodes online, you can visit sciencechannel.com. And for more information on Justin Fornal, you can visit justinfornal.com. All right, we have to take a quick break, but when we return, we'll bake things up with Cake Burgers founder, Evette Zayas. Don't go anywhere. Hey, welcome back to Open, everyone. So Cake Burgers is a shop offering cakes, burgers, and the nostalgia of the 1950s. Well, the shop recently opened in November, and we are so excited to have her back. It has a lot of people offering, a nice, different time travel eating experience in East Harlem. And co-founder Evette Zayas is now here to tell us about the shop while we make some miniature cake burgers. Hey, welcome back.
Hey, how you doing?
Congratulations. Happy birthday. Oh, thank you, honey. Well, we had you on last year, and you didn't have your brick and mortar, but you have it now.
You said last year. You had to mention that, but that's okay.
No, well, it's all good. All right, so I guess you're putting me to work right away. All right, so what are we making here? First of all, cake burger. I mean, you're making cake burgers, but it's actually cake, shaped like a burger.
Yes.
But that's not all the store offers, right? I
No.
mean, the restaurant, I should say.
No. So basically, we have a shop that we serve gourmet burgers and we do cakes. All occasion cakes, cake sculptures, and little goodies and stuff like that. And this came about exactly 1 week ago. So it was like, this is gonna be our signature little dessert. When people come in, they say, cake burgers. And they're like, what's cake burgers? And we're like, we make cakes, we make burgers. Oh, and this is a cake burger. Just to, because it was all about explanation, but I'm excited.
I'm
Thank you.
excited for you.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
all
okay.
right, so we're gonna make one.
Yes,
Oh my
One
gosh,
for you.
This is gonna be like an
And
I
one
Love
for me.
Lucy moment.
Yeah,
I'm gonna do
there
my
you go.
best.
Here you go.
So this is not my department.
Make believe this is an English muffin.
Okay.
Okay, we're gonna saw it, we're gonna cut it in half, and
Right.
we're gonna go around in circles. Nice.
See, I already messed it
Ay,
up.
Dios
I already-
mío. Well, we got two more
All right,
here.
no, I'm gonna do this to the other
Ay.
side. That's all right, I got it. All the way through?
Yeah, all the
right,
way through.
I did it all the way through.
We want 2 pieces,
Uh-huh.
right? So now we're gonna take it, we're gonna put it down. We're gonna make
Okay.
a burger.
Okay, we're
We're
gonna make a
we're gonna
burger.
make a burger, okay? Now we're gonna have
A
fun.
sweet
now we're
burger.
gonna flip it, we're gonna take a piece right
Okay.
here. That's the chocolate. Oh, no, I'm so sorry. We gotta put the ketchup on first.
Okay, the ketchup.
Ketchup.
Which is what, actually?
Strawberry.
It's
Espérate, you taking it
look
like
at me.
you know.
I know, I'm like, I'm gonna make a mess here is what I'm doing. All right, you can
You hold it.
Yes.
Entonces you go and you squeeze it, some strawberries. Okay, so this is supposed to, depict ketchup.
Okay.
Okay, so now it's your turn.
And this is
Squeeze
like
it
strawberry
nice
jam?
Yes,
Yeah, nice and gently,
yes,
right?
Yes.
Okay.
Pa abajo, there you go. Wait, so fast. Okay, that's it. Now put it back over there.
All right, put it here.
Now we're gonna take the meat.
Okay.
Okay, that's why I don't make burgers.
Which isn't actually meat. What is it?
Oh,
Is it a brownie?
Yeah, it's a chocolate cake.
It's a chocolate
Next
cake.
time it'll be a brownie.
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna take it and we're gonna put it on the bread. There, now you take yours.
Okay, I'm gonna grab
Okay,
mine.
thank
And hope
God.
nothing falls.
No, thank
Okay,
God I'm
here we
not
go.
flipping brownies. Brownies, tú me oyes. So
I
now
got
we're
you.
gonna take some buttercream.
A buttercream.
Yeah, and you're gonna
Oh, I
hold
have
it
my own.
and you're gonna put it in your hand.
Okay.
Remember last year?
No.
Oh, no,
I'm sure I messed it up. This is not my department.
You're gonna put it in the palm of your hands and you're gonna squeeze it. Go ahead, ask me
Okay.
any question you want.
So
easy. Let me show you first and then you do
Oh,
it,
okay, right.
So you're gonna take
that's
it
probably
and then you're gonna squeeze it and then you're gonna zigzag it like that. You're gonna make it look like lettuce.
okay.
We're making lettuce.
Oh, nice.
All right, let me see. Oh no.
Wait, let me try.
Don't quit your day job.
I'm not.
Don't.
That's why I hire you, Evette.
Don't quit your day. Okay, I'm gonna let her. That'll be yours. Okay.
All right, so
Okay,
mine
that'll
is
be yours.
arugula. How about that?
Okay, it's arugula. At least it's not romaine.
Good. Wait, you're getting your plastic in my arugula.
Okay, now, we got it.
Oh,
now,
that's
so,
beautiful. I could make mine stick out a little bit more.
Okay, so now we got a little bit more time or something like that. We're just
Okay.
gonna fake the funk,
Okay.
and we're gonna do a tomato, un tomate.
We're gonna do a tomato.
We're gonna do a tomato, small tomato. Okay, this is fondant.
Okay.
Fondant. Okay, just
Yes.
like cake, but you can eat it. Okay.
Okay.
Now we're gonna. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna go to the
I
side,
want
and
to
I'm
make
just
sure
gonna
they
do
can
this.
see what you're doing.
Okay, I'm just gonna
Okay,
just
you
fake
try
the
to-
fun. That's
okay.
it, Make a little line,
Uh-huh.
a little line. That looks like a tomato, right? What do you think?
It looks like a tomato.
Yeah.
That
Then
works
I
for
go
me.
and I put one there,
Yeah,
right?
okay.
And then I do another one because
Uh-huh.
you're gonna do the same thing.
Okay.
Okay. It's
Well,
a
we're
quiz.
gonna do that one because we're running out of time.
absolutely. Oh,
That's
Dios
got to be
mío.
mine.
Entonces, no, mira ahí.
Ay, I
Corta
gotta do
uno,
it. I was
corta
hoping we
uno.
didn't have to put me through it
Mira,
because.
corta uno.
All right.
That's it.
Look,
See?
it's not even cutting. Oh my
Ah,
gosh,
se
se pegó.
Now you got one tomato. That's it.
Okay, wait.
Make it work. There you go.
This is not helping
That's it.
me find a future husband.
Dios mío, mira here, 2 tomatoes. Put your tomatoes in there. Now we
Okay.
got the bun, right? And
Oh my gosh,
voila.
I even made it upside down.
Pues nena, mira. Hey, look at this. It looks like a boiga. It looks like a boiga.
It works for me. It's gonna taste the same anyway, right? Okay, so what are we doing
And then,
now?
we have, the sesame seeds. We put it there, and then we squish them in. Y ya, mira, ya.
Yeah.
Right, and then what we do is we take the paper
Uh-huh.
when it's a real burger.
Uh-huh.
This is not a real burger. Where's the little thing at, right? We pick it up.
Uh-huh.
Let's just leave it there.
Okay, we'll
That's
leave it there.
We just
All right, so we're gonna just leave it there, and perhaps I'll take a bite after I take us to break. Yvette, thank you so much It's always a pleasure having you here.
Thank you,
And
thank
thank you
you.
for being patient with me.
You're patient.
You're
look.
amazing, and
It's
congratulations
not
on
bad.
your new place. This is what it's supposed to look like.
No, you did good. You did good.
All right, I did
Yeah,
it
yeah,
right.
It's for a
All right.
kid.
All right,
That's
you
it.
guys, once again, make sure to visit Cake Burgers. They're located at 400 East 120th Street. And make sure to follow Evette on Instagram at Easy Baker and Cake Burgers. I'm going to take a bite of my cake burger, the one I made. And while we do that, you guys stay tuned for Bobby C's weekly sports roundup, which is coming up next.
It's slamming, right?
Dar she blows. Yankees general manager Brian Cashman harpooned the white whale. Move over, Moby Dick. Garrett Cole is coming to the Bronx. Called it, nailed it, harpooned it. I digress. I'm a bit giddy this Friday morning, and the move happened late Tuesday night at the winter meetings in San Diego. The Yankees, Los Angeles Angels, and Los Angeles Dodgers were the three teams reportedly most in the mix for the star free agent who ultimately chose the Pinstripers on a 9-year, $324 million deal. That's 324 million reasons to say yes to the Bronx. Given Cole is from California, the Yankees had to sell him not just on pitching for the Bronx Bombers, but also on moving out to New York. It sounds like Cash and company brought out the big guns to make the club's pitch. According to Yes Network's Jack Curry, who spoke to agent Scott Boras, it was Hal Steinbrenner and Yankees legend Andy Pettitte who sold Cole on the Stars in stripes. Boras said 5 conversations with Hal Steinbrenner, quote unquote, and Andy Pettitte, quote unquote. Boras was impacted by Hal's persistence, and Cole was influenced by Andy's stories about pitching in New York. Now, New York Post's Joel Sherman reported the Yankees provided Cole one of their favorite toys, a 30-poundish contraption shaped like home plate with a giant interlocking NY that, when open, reveals a facsimile of Yankee Stadium with an iPad in the middle that contains pretty much every question you would have about the franchise. From breakdowns of all 27 championship teams to where to live and, have your kids go to school, etc. High tech, more on the Cole signing in the C list. Yankees added a new friend to the roster and decided to bring an old buddy back too. Outfielder Brett Gardner is staying in the BX after the best offensive season of his career, agreeing to a 1-year contract that guarantees $12.5 million. Gardner gets a $2 million signing bonus and an $8 million salary for next season. The Yankees have a $10 million option for 2021 with a $2.5 buyout. Gardy hit .251 and set career highs with 28 homers and 78 RBIs. Gardner is a rare left-handed bat and a Yankee lineup dominated by right-handed hitters. How about a lefty dominating all kinds of hitters? The Bombers have signed Cole and Gardner this week, but Cashman already has his sights set on another all-star. The Yankees are considered the most active pursuer of Milwaukee Brewers closer Josh Hader, according to Ken Rosenthal of The Athletic. The 25-year-old lefty has been one of the most effective relievers in baseball since his debut in 2017. Perhaps the rich will indeed get richer. The Mets opened up their checkbooks nowhere near Yankee level, but still added some interesting pieces this week. Former Boston Red Sox right-hander Rick Porcello has agreed to a 1-year, $10 million deal with the Amazons, a source told ESPN, confirming multiple reports. Porcello, who turns 31 on December 27th, had multi-year offers but preferred a 1-year deal. A ground ball pitcher who relies on a sinking two-seam fastball, Porcello is coming off a career worst season with the Red Sox. He was 14-12 but had a 5.52 ERA. That was the highest in the majors. He signed a 4-year, $82.5 million contract extension with the Red Sox in 2015. In his 5 seasons with Boston, he had one great season, winning the American League Cy Young Award in 2016 when he was also voted Comeback Player of the Year. Mets clearly hoping to tap into another comeback season from Porcello. Same deal with their other notable signing, pitcher Michael Wacha, and the Mets swung a deal on Wednesday. The two also agreed to a one-year contract. The 28-year-old will be getting $3 million guaranteed from the Mets and could make another $7 million in performance bonuses and incentives. Wacha had spent his entire 7-year career with the St. Louis Cardinals. The right-hander went 6-7 last season with a 4.76 ERA in 29 games. He failed to post a win after July 19th as he dealt with a strained right shoulder down the stretch. Time for some quick hitters from around the world of sports. We'll stay on the baseball diamond. Washington National star Anthony Rendon is heading to L.A., where the third baseman will team with Mike Trout and the Angels this upcoming season. 7 years, $245 for Rendon. Between Steven Strasburg, Cole, and Rendon, no one had a better week in sports than Boris. The super agent got his clients paid to the tune of $814 million. Hot damn. That's a sick amount of money. The hot stove has been sizzling. On the ice, the Islanders could be melting things too, the way they have been playing of late. A pair of power play goals and a .351 span early in the second period, along with 32 saves from Thomas Greiss, helped the Isles beat the Florida Panthers 3-1 on Thursday night. The Islanders are 21-7-2 through the first 30 games. Impressive, good enough for second in the Metropolitan Division. Isles host Buffalo Saturday at 1 p.m. The New Jersey Devils are in Colorado tonight, and the Rangers return to action Saturday in Anaheim after last night's 6-3 win over San Jose. On the gridiron, the Jets giveth and the Jets taketh away. Goodbye postseason. That's the story from Baltimore. The Jets were down 21-7 at halftime, but they wasted two terrific opportunities: an incomplete pass on 4th and 1 from the 7 and an interception inside the 10. It got worse from there. Final score, Ravens 42, Jets 21. Historic night for Lamar Jackson as he passes Michael Vick with most rushing yards in a season for a quarterback. Most ever. 5 touchdowns, too, for Jackson. The Giants had a throwback performance from Eli Manning, at least in the first half Monday night in Philly, but it wasn't enough for Big Blue. They fell 23-17 to the Eagles. They returned Sunday to the Meadowlands to host Miami at 1 p.m. In the association, the New York Knicks made their interim head coach a winner for the first time. And imagine this, it came against the worst team in the league, the Golden State Warriors. The Knicks are no longer the worst, and it's really hard to believe that the Warriors are now. Marcus Morris scored a season-high 36 points in orange and blue. They held off Golden State 124-122 in OT Wednesday night to snap a 10-game losing streak. Congrats to Mike Miller. Morris also said he doesn't want to be traded by the Knicks before the deadline, adding, "I'm built for New York," quote unquote. Good quote. The Knicks are in Sacramento tonight. Devontae Graham owned the Knicks earlier this season, and he decided that he would treat the Brooklyn Nets to a similar treatment Wednesday night at the Barclays Center, dropping a career-high 40 points in a comeback win for Charlotte. He netted a game winner against the Knicks in November, and now a career night against the Nets. Final score, Hornets 113, Nets 108. We go inside the locker room for more.
You know, it's a wake-up call. You know, after we lose a game like this, you know, credit to them still. But once we lose a game like this, we're going to prepare extra hard for the next game. You know, look at our mistakes and improve on them.
I mean, we were up 20. So, I mean, I don't know how much we were looking past them. We were up 20 points. We just didn't finish. I mean, it's a game of runs, and they made a run, and we didn't make the shots to make the lead grow. And tonight they didn't go in. I mean, some plays we know we have a lot of guys who are look at the mirror and understand the plays they could have made for us to win this game. But at the same time, the overlooking thing, I don't really buy into.
I mean, I would say I think we're doing a good job of coming together collectively, especially in spite of injuries and all the kind of hardships that we've had. It's hard to kind of say like whether we're happy with wins or losses at this moment, just because we're still trying to find ourselves. Once we get healthy, we'll be able to have a more accurate picture of what this team is going to be like, and so we're still just trying to get better every day.
I'll tell you, Graham is built for the NBA. He's averaging 20 points and 8 assists per game. He's launching 9 3-pointers per game and making 43% of them. Graham entered last year's NBA draft looking like a prototypical college star who peaked on that level. He was undersized, 6'1", and relatively old, 23 by NBA standards. Charlotte drafted him number 34. That in and of itself was an accomplishment considering where Graham had started. He blossomed on the court his senior year of high school and finally realizing he could get bigger offers, decommitted from Appalachian State, but Appalachian State held him to his letter of intent, so Graham enrolled at Brewster Academy, a prep school in New Hampshire, where he continued to impress. Eventually, Appalachian State fired the coach who refused to release Graham. Jason Capel's replacement, Jim Fox, set Graham free. A premier recruit, Graham went to Kansas. It was a big stage for someone who originally didn't want to stray too far from his mother, grandmother, and sister in North Carolina. This season, he was supposed to be the backup in Charlotte. Great story there in the NBA. This year's Heisman was a heck of a story, too. The frontrunner was nowhere near a frontrunner at the beginning of the season. I actually put this in my pocket today. Meet Joe Burrow. Burrow entered this year largely as an unknown for LSU. He played well at times last year in his first season on the Bayou after transferring from Ohio State, but overall, it looked more like, the same for an LSU program that has seemingly struggled forever to find a dynamic offense to compete with the game's best. Burrow's Heisman odds were as low as 200-1 to start the season. Now they're off the charts. Our BronxNet cameras have the Heisman announcement this Saturday night from Midtown. I expect to see Joe on the stage. He has earned it this season. The Heisman Trophy favorite will arrive in New York for Saturday's ceremony with a few new lines on his resume, too. The LSU quarterback was honored Thursday at the 2019 Home Depot College Football Awards with the Maxwell and Davey O'Brien Awards given to the best overall player and best quarterback in college football, respectively. The best F1 driver in the sport today and arguably the greatest MotoGP rider of all time swapped rides this week. Yes, a machinery swap for the history books took place between six-time F1 world champion Lewis Hamilton and MotoGP legend Valentino Rossi in Valencia, Spain. The stunt was organized by Monster Energy and saw the Brit pilot Rossi's Yamaha racing motorcycle while the famous Italian got behind the wheel of Hamilton's Mercedes AMG F1 car. Pretty cool. Both racers have shown interest in the respective sports with each other in the past, with Hamilton being a big motorcycle fan and owning multiple sports bikes, and Rossi a self-proclaimed car nut and F1 aficionado. According to Yamaha, the duo has made no secret their admiration and respect for each other in recent years. Wonder if we will ever see that for real. Well, we wondered if we would ever see Cole in pinstripes, and yes, it is for real. We talk more about the white whale in the C list. Trivia question on December 9, 2019, which pitcher became the highest paid in baseball history? The answer, Steven Strasburg, 7 years, $245 million. Heading back to the Washington Nationals, tons of cash for the World Series MVP. But it didn't last long. And one day later, in fact, December 10th, 2019, that's the day the Yankees won the 2020 World Series. But a bump. Garrett Cole, 9 years, $324 million, departing Houston and the cheating Astros for the Bronx. That's right, Strasburg's reign as baseball's highest paid ace lasted all of one day. And now the biggest pitching contracts in baseball belong to the two pitchers who cashed in this week in San Diego. How will it work out? That's the multi-million-dollar question. But the Nationals and Yankees were willing to pay over $500 million combined to find out the answer. I personally believe the Yankees won the sweepstakes during Game 7 of this year's Fall Classic when the Astros left Cole in the bullpen only to watch the Nats come from behind and win it all in the World Series. Cole sounded kind of pissed in the postgame. He's focused on winning World Series championships. Hey, so are we, Rhina. Happy birthday. The boys are back. It's always been called the World Series, but for so long it was played in one place year after year, the Bronx, the 718. I think those times are about to be on the horizon once more. Dar she blows. That's your sports. I'm Bobby C.
Welcome back to Open. Today we have a special guest, a raw talent and spirited gypsy soul who infuses many sounds to capture the heart of his audience. Today he's here to perform an original musical piece entitled Guariche, fused with Magdalena Gomez's poem For the Women of El Bronx. Please welcome singer, songwriter, composer, Bitter Ends 2019 New Century Future Latino Artist of the Year, Edwin Vasquez.
acid rains and onto cemented streets, intrusive electric stars, onto grounds covered with tar.
For the women, for the women, for the women of El Bronx. This is for the women who have never driven a car, left their hometown, been in a plane, learned a second language, danced flamenco, served up with a younger man, kissed a woman, and trust nobody with their kids. For the women, for the women, for the women.
Your arm and eyes tell the stunning scene, radiant skies, unscathed sands and palm trees. Your cinnamon-colored skin speak of a sacred sun. What is shake where your name is found?
For the women, for the women who would never think of straightening their hair, for women who soak dry beans and deliberately make begao, even though they know they will be left alone to scrub the pots. For women who buy pantyhose on sale and never wear them. Who buy gifts months before the holidays, not knowing for who, but because the price is right. Who eat fried eggs with maduros on the side and call it gourmet. For the women, for the women, for the women.
And now you walk against the falling breeze, thinking about the tidal beat. Just sit aside my dreams and electric stars. You're beautiful, so beautiful, my beautiful. What he said.
For the women. For the women called Hamona because they had the guts to deny their mother's grandchildren. For the women who prefer to live than to clean under the stove. For women who read the funnies first to get ready for bad news. Who ride motorcycles because they don't like to close their legs if they don't have to. For the women who don't know more than 6 square blocks of their neighborhood they grew up in, who wish they had married their first boyfriend. He wasn't Zorro, pero he wasn't Cantinflas either, and knew how to fold laundry. For the women, for the women, for the women. For the women. For the women who stopped going to church because the host was stale and they didn't like where the money was going. And Africa doesn't need missionaries, it needs economic justice. This is for the women who don't know exactly what that means, but feel it anyway. For the women. For the women. For the women. For the women. Para las mujeres who do not count losses, they know there is always enough with which to begin a revolution. El Bronx, where I learned to be a woman who can laugh even in times of sorrow. Para todas las mujeres, Warishe. Thank you, Edwin.
Thank you.
That was for all the women out there who follow me and stay here with us here on Open. I want to thank Edwin Vasquez for inviting me to just participate in a piece that he created, and to Magdalena Gomez, who is the Poet Laureate of Springfield, Massachusetts, for allowing me to read her piece and honor you and gift you as a gift from me on behalf of my birthday. And it's also Edwin's birthday, so sad soul power in the house.
Y no se acaba ahí, perdona.
No.
Happy birthday.
Oh, Mama, already. Oh, we're jumping to happy birthday. Oh my gosh.
Happy birthday to you.
Oh my gosh, Edwin.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Is everybody coming?
To
Woo! Oh my gosh, you guys got me a cake. Oh, thank you, Latricia. Oh my gosh. I wasn't expecting your cake. Mwah. Oh my goodness, you guys. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, all this cake. Thank you, thank you, thank you all. Happy birthday to you too, Edwin. And thank you all for being a part of this special edition. I won't say how old I'm gonna be. All that matters is that we have another year together. It's too late to light it up now. Just imagine, like, we'll make believe I turned it off. There we go, yay! Edwin, oh my gosh, you jumped right into singing me happy birthday, and I didn't get to tell everybody you were gonna be performing tonight and tomorrow night. But you guys, once again, Cemi, Justin, Joe, Edwin, Evette, and everybody here on the set, my crew, I love you guys. Lindsay, you did a phenomenal job. Chris, holding it down in the directing control room. Thank you all for this. Thank you.
Thank you.
Many blessings to us all.
Eat some of these burgers.
Yeah, so I'm going to finish though, right? Because Edwin, you can play for me as I close out, because I want to make sure that people know that Edwin is going to be performing tonight at 8 p.m. at Salud Bar, and that's Salud Bar and Grill, located at 1413 Bushwick Avenue in Brooklyn. And he's also going to be performing on Saturday, December 14th from 7:30 to 9 p.m. at Escorza's Mexican restaurant located at 363 Merrick Road. That's in Wonton, New York, for you guys upstate. And for more on Edwin, you can visit his website, edwinvasquez.com, and be sure to check him out on Instagram at Edwin Vasquez Musica. That's our show today, mi gente. Thanks to all our guests for coming through, and to you, our viewers, for tuning in. If you missed any part of the show, you can check out the recablecast tonight and 24 hours a day at bronxnet.tv. I'm Rhina Valentin, and from all of us here at Open, may the universe provide paz, prosperity, y amor. And gracias. Happy birthday to me. Mwah! And Edwin. Woo!
God bless you, Mama. All right.